Hello children, since a long time I had been planning to start the career counseling videos. I had been on and off guiding my students on that. But I guess I can start making small short videos on the various subjects and the various careers, so that it can be a helpful guidance for the kids who are not able to attend my classes or the sessions, or I'll be able to keep all the videos together on my channel. So today I'm starting a video on the career guidance in the field of psychology. So you might wonder that why psychology, why not engineering, and why not NEET or medical or UPSC. Yes, of course, I will do that also. Why not MBA? Of course, I will prepare separate videos for that as well. But my focus is more today more on psychology, because I have realized that visiting various schools and colleges, I have realized that the students are still not aware of one, that there is a subject called psychology that can actually be helpful for building up a very renowned and financially renowned and respectable career. So one thing that I have observed traveling and meeting students and the teachers, that the knowledge of psychology as a subject, that is not as per the mark it should be. So what I understood is that why not start talking about the subjects first, and then you start understanding how that subject is going to really help you. Okay, so when I say psychology, right? So I, very honestly, I will say that I have met the parents of the students also, because I am a psychology educator as well, along with mathematics and spoken English. When I meet parents who of the children who are studying psychology, they are actually very hesitant for their children to pursue psychology. First thing, to start having psychology in grade 11 and 12, and second, they are very hesitant for their children to pursue psychology as a subject. They have a very weird thinking. So I'm talking about the parents who belongs to the mostly to the rural areas, or who belongs to the urban metro areas, but they are not well informed. Right, so what I've observed is that psychology should not be in only in the cream layer of the students. It should actually reach out to the students of the other layers as well, because as for me, I am being a psychology student. Till now I am a psychology student and an educator. What I have understood is that psychology can be in future prepared as a mandatory subject starting from grade 6, and that is very important, because psychology is not only about the mental health and well-being, it is also about your attitude, it is also about your social influence, the group polarization, social loafing. These all attributes, what I am talking about at present, is part of your development, right? So it will be very important as per me that it is very important as per me that psychology should be introduced as a regular mandatory subject like other subjects. The NEP and other educational systems are making a lot of endeavors on that. So now coming back to my point, I have seen that the students, even if they have opted for psychology, their parents are very hesitant whether my child should be opting psychology or whether my child should be doing the regular NEET and JEE. See, I am not against NEET, JEE or UPSC. Same time, I also strongly feel that I keep telling my students that until and unless you jump in the ocean or jump in the water, how would you know that what is the charm, what is the happiness of swimming? So if you are not, you haven't yet tried it, you cannot say that this water journey or the experience in the water is not good. So until and unless you understand the subject, how can you define that this subject is not going to help my the career of my child? So quickly, I'll tell you, there are three basically there are three streams of psychology, right? So to start with, psychology as a subject. Psychology as a subject is offered from grade 11 and 12, and then later on you can opt for psychology either as a BA in psychology or BSc in psychology, right? So either you can be an art student and still apply for the BA psychology. I will tell you here the various streams of BA psychology and BSc psychology also. But overall, there are three streams of psychology. One is clinical, and then organizational and counseling psychology, right? So these are the three fields of psychology: clinical, organizational and counseling psychology. These are the three specialization. And now what is more upcoming is the neuropsychology. So neuropsychology and then cognitive science. So neuropsychology, cognitive science, these all are the upcoming fields related with the psychology. So neuropsychology is more connected with the involvement of the functioning of the brain. Clinical psychology is more about the medical aspect of psychology in a very rough layman's language. Organizational psychology is related with the psychology required in the organizational field, and counseling psychology is mostly where you are focusing on the counseling aspects, right? So these are the basic levels and the specializations of psychology. We'll get back to you on that. Now talking about the BA or BSc, for the BSc in psychology, you can opt for BSc in psychology if you have studied science and mathematics, bio and psychology in grade 11 and 12, but also at the same time BA in psychology, you can get an admission in that even if you haven't studied psychology in 11 12, you can still study the structure of the psychology and appear for the exam. So it's all up to, when you are appearing for the BA and BSc, you should be having the knowledge of the curriculum of psychology that has been taught in 11th and 12th. Overall, that is the zest, right? So this is a very small area that I have tried to mention here. The specializations of the psychology, there are further more in that in psychology, when you are talking about clinical psychology or neuropsychology, there are licensed psychologists also, that is RCI license. I will talk more detail on that. I will try to send a message on this description, in this the description of my video, because otherwise the video will become very long, right? So it's basically the Rehabilitation Council of India. They are provide the license for the psychologists who actually are able to pursue the particular set of courses that has been defined under RCI. That can be as the upskilling when you are actually in the field of psychology. So once you have got the RCI license, you can get into the clinical psychologist mode, and then you can function as a clinical psychologist. Now talking about the career. So one is the clinical psychologist that I talked about. Second, you can become a counseling psychologist, and you can become a child psychologist. Also, you can become an organizational or corporate wellness psychologist. At the same time, in the schools and the colleges, you can work as a wellness teacher, and you can also function as a psychology educator. So like personally, I started my career as I trained under a psychiatrist, and then I started my career, and then I moved to child psychologist and the counseling psychology. And because I was more interested in researching and writing and understanding and reading more about psychology, now I have got into the research and the educational part of that. So now I am the educator, I am the researcher, and I am the counselor. Right, so I am able to publish 2 of my research papers in psychology, and now I am aspiring for the PhD in psychology. So now why I am telling you my journey is because my journey started, I planned to pursue psychology because I was very interested in this subject, and then I planned to pursue masters in clinical psychology. I was allowed to do that, and I actually got 300 hours of clinical psychology training after my MA master was over. And then I started working as an alternative therapist and a psychologist with the psychiatrist, and then I got a lot of experience working with the clinical patients, and then later on I decided to move on to child psychology. When I moved on to child psychology, I decided that I will start educating people about psychology. So I started taking up classes for grade 11 and 12 for the psychology curriculum. That really helped me to understand psychology again from the core to revise my basic. So this is all how I built up my career. That this is a very this is more towards the academic. If you talk about my career, it is more towards the counseling and the academics, research, education and counseling. If you are interested more towards the scientific methods and the neuropsychology, you can you can get your career in that, and you can become a clinical psychologist. And at the same time, if you are really academic oriented, you can pursue masters after your BSc and your BA. You can pursue masters, you can do PhD in that, and then you can become a researcher in that and become a psychology professor also. Right, so overall this was a very short overview of the subject psychology. Why I picked up, I again want to mention it because I had been traveling to colleges and the schools. I have been talking to the students starting from grade 9 till grade 11, and the bachelor students, they are not yet aware of the benefits of taking this subject. And believe me, psychology humanities is going to be the future, because at present there is a lot of changes and the add-on in the Indian budget also, where the NIMHANS that was only in Mumbai. Previously they are opening up NIMHANS in UP also. So we can see a lot of changes are happening. CBSE is also mandated that there should be a counselor in all the educational institutes. That is mandated by Supreme Court. So CBSE has mandated the school counselor's role in the schools. And gradually, because this is, as per me, psychology is in the baby steps in India, and people have started understanding it. And I thought, when I am starting about my career guidance as a counselor, I will start with this subject. I would look forward to hear your questions and comments so that I can get back to you. I will also take up I add on the questions of my students who keep asking me the benefits of this subject and the career guidance related to this subject, so that can be helpful for you. Thank you so much. I hope this video was quite helpful. This is shot in my office, a small office that I have. So I hope everything is fine, and I look forward to shoot my second video, record my second video on the same career guiding. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.